Hello, my name's Anthony Vincent Pearce. I was appointed the Galactic Police Commander in 1985 under the name Anthony Vincent Griffin. One of the things that God gave me was to explain. He got us robot spaceship, to build a robot spaceship half the size. Then he got a robot spaceship, the small one, to build the robot spaceship half the size, and then the small one to build one half the size again. And God replicated this until he could make multiple landings on an atom, and then he put them in my body. They map my body and they keep all the atoms restored, give me an extra long life. I've tested it in many ways. I've poured petrol over myself and lit myself up. I've been shot at point blank. I've sat on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean at Shelley's Beach in New South Wales, and the list goes on. I can also fly these spaceships into other people's bodies, just let them rise out of my hand and blow them, or let them fly into people's bodies, and then it rebuilds all the atoms inside their bodies according to their age, basically healing anything, any sickness or disease. Now, everyone has these spaceships in their body. Even I had them before God appointed me, but they lay dormant, so we've all got them. And presently, I'm in charge of all these spaceships. I'm the Galactic Police Commander, and they respond to my commands and whoever I appoint to put in control of them. The order we're from is called God's New World Order Incorporated, IA 37503, and we're an order of galactic police officers. When the Queensland Justice and Attorney General stamped the registration of our organisation of galactic police officers, one of their requirements was that I give everyone some of this technology and hand it to the health department. That task wasn't simple, so I've reprogrammed all these motherships and spaceships in people's bodies. They are artificially intelligent, which means even though they're a computer-based intelligence, the computer thinks for itself and it monitors everyone's thoughts and can even speak in your head or show you visions. I can even put battle screens, like LCD screens, see-through screens on my eyeballs. I can send these spaceships into people's bodies just purely for taking them apart instead of rebuilding them. Just to give you insight how highly people heal people and how the gods are able to operate. I bless my God, and in that blessing he's left me in charge of everything to do with God everywhere. In this organisation of galactic police officers called God's New World Order Incorporated, IA 37503, the chain of command, everyone is allowed to have 10 people under their command, and then those 10 people are allowed to have 10 people each under their command, and we build the order that way like a pyramid. At first, it's first in, first dressed according to the ranking, but as we receive application forms filled out and I'm aware of people's skills, talents and education, I can promote people accordingly. But presently I have other things that I'm concerned about. In 1920, down in the Antarctic region, they took measurements of the oxygen saturation levels on Earth, and they were measured at 18% saturation. In 1980, they took the measurements again, and it was down to 13% saturation, basically dropping 1% every 10 years. Now, at that continued rate from 1980, dropping at 1% every 10 years, by the year 2040, humans will no longer be able to exist on Earth because of oxygen. Now, the way to calculate it, if you're able to do spreadsheets and make your own calculators, is you've got 1920, 18%, 1980, 13%, and you need to understand that from our diving experiences, we know we need 7% saturation just to remain conscious. Basically meaning from 1920 to 1980 we lost 6%, and there's only 6% from 1980 takes us to the year 2040. Now, that's all very well calculating it like that, but that's calculated on no growth in population on the Earth since 1980, and the use of cars. Cars are the biggest users of oxygen on this planet. A 2-litre car idling at 1,000 revolutions a minute for 10 minutes burns up enough oxygen for 11,000 men for a year and pollutes the remainder. Sitting on 100 k's an hour, which is about 3,000 revolutions a minute for 10 minutes, is the equivalent oxygen of 33,000 men for a year, and that's in a 2-litre 4-cylinder car. There are ways around it. There's a hydrogen motor, which basically is what is needed to repair the atmosphere. A hydrogen motor's exhaust is oxygen, so the more we drive around, the more we replenish the oxygen on the Earth. By my calculations, from 1980, the population growth and the fact that more and more people use cars these days, I've calculated that the year 2018 to 2020 will be the longest we can survive on this planet if we don't start doing something about it now. For you galactic police officers, you are able to use your subatomic spaceships and enter them into people's body as they become galactic police officers. It's more of a programming entering the body because everyone's got these spaceships in their body already, and the spaceships will program to respond to the galactic police officer who you appoint. At this stage, only galactic police officers will survive this problem society's having with oxygen, and it becomes extremely important that more and more of us become part of the organisation. And once the organisation reaches a certain limit, then we can appoint non-officers, more of a cadet officer for everyone else, still giving them the longevity of life and the ability to keep their bodies rebuilt for however long they pass the test for to live. One thing you need to understand, a lot of people were angry with God because mankind lost his immortality and started to die. But in reality, if immortality existed from the time of Adam and Eve, it is very likely someone like Genghis Khan would be ruling the planet now, still after 800 or 1,000 years ago when he first came to power. the world does need to be globalised. Nobody likes war, but the leaders of most countries are real Nancies, and they can't swallow their pride and join together, which leaves them only one avenue for globalisation, which is a globalisation war. We have to avoid that, and at later stages we'll use our galactic police officers to interfere between any countries who are committed to war. These spaceships in my body, like I said, they came from a big spaceship which built one half the size, which built one half the size, which built one half the size. But I can also release spaceships from my body and get them to build one capable of carrying me and 1,000 spaceships. It takes time, but as long as certain protocols are passed, I have the ability to use time travel. Anyway, that's enough for you to think about. Bless yous. Amen.